Hello and welcome to Diaspora Network, where we showcase Nigerians making their country proud around the world. I'm Teniola Oyetayo. On today's program, it's a year-end special as we take a reflective journey back to the highlights of 2023, celebrating the achievements of Nigerians who have made a mark on the global stage. Our guest today is UAE-based Nigerian musician MKO. He shares his experience transitioning from the corporate industry to pursuing his passion in the entertainment sector. But before we hear from MKO, it has definitely been an extraordinary year for Nigerians globally, spanning diverse sectors from music, education and fashion. Let's take a moment to revisit and celebrate these remarkable accomplishments.
Thank you, Sundance. Thank you, the jury. You guys changed Nigerian cinema with this. Thank you.
In January, filmmaker CJ Fiery Obasi's black and white West African folklore thriller Mami Wata won a special jury prize for cinematography at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. The film was recently reviewed by the British Film Institute in November after several international releases, including in Nigeria, Switzerland, North America and the UK. The BFI called the film an audacious, ambitious, visually dazzling thrill.
I can't even tell you how I feel right now. Thank you to Thames, thank you to ATL Jacob, thank you to FNZ, thank you to Drake, Future. I'm speechless.
In February, British-Nigerian artist Thames won her first Grammy for Best Melodic Rap Performance at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards, with Future's Wait For You featuring the artist and Drake, alongside an honorary mention in Beyoncé's Renaissance, which was nominated for Album of the Year. Thames has been taking the music world by storm. Alongside icons such as Babatunde Olatunji, Sade and Wizkid. In March, space scientist Maggie Aderin-Pocock was gifted her very own Barbie doll on International Women's Day in honour of her distinctions as a black woman in science.
When I was growing up, the Barbies didn't look anything like me. So to have one that is actually me was just so exciting. Both my daughter and I were dancing around the living room just at the thought of it.
Earlier that month, the astronomer also became the new Chancellor of the University of Leicester, which is home to the UK's first science and innovation park entirely focused on the space sector. Maggie is best known for presenting BBC One's The Sky at Night and CBB's Stargazing, and says STEM subjects are just too important to be left to the guys because through science you can literally change the world. In the same month, Nigerian restaurant chain Tasty African Food launched a brand new product range in one of the UK's largest supermarket retailers, Sainsbury's. The popular restaurant has 23 branches dotted around southeast London and Kent and stocks 11 ready-made items, including delicacies such as efo riro, dodo gizzard and ayamache, a meat pie. Spanning over 2 decades of service, the affordable and authentic African cuisine continues to promote the true taste of West Africa. In April, Amazon Prime launched the latest chapter in its global expansion with Gangs of Lagos starring Toby Bakare and Adesua Etomi Wellington and directed by Jadesola Oshiberu. According to Google's Nigerian data, Gangs of Lagos dominated this year's movie search trends. Longtime producer, writer and director Oshiberu called the film a dream come true. In May, the UK celebrated the coronation of King Charles II and his wife, Queen Camilla. In attendance was the UK's first sickle cell nurse, Dame Elizabeth Nneka Anyonwu, and the royal family's Director of Community and Engagement, Eva Omagomi, who has dedicated over 15 years to the late Queen Elizabeth II and the then Prince Charles. To conclude the celebrations, Tiwa Savage also performed her hit song, Keys to the Kingdom, at the coronation concert. In the same month, the 31-year-old designer behind Lagos Space Programme won the prestigious 2023 International Walmart Prize. At the Parisian ceremony, designer Adeju Thompson received 200,000 Australian dollars to invest in the development of his brand. The unisex brand was chosen from a pool of 8 finalists. Lagos Space Programme is known for locally made fabrics and prints, which seeks to preserve and reinterpret Nigerian culture. The prize celebrates outstanding fashion talent from around the globe while showcasing the beauty and versatility of Australia's merino wool. In August, Nigeria's women's football team, the Super Falcons, reached semi-finals after their draw with Ireland and Australia, becoming the second African country to reach semi-finals in any World Cup. Although the team were narrowly beat by England by 4-2 on penalties, the Cup was watched by a total of 14.8 million people, putting Nigeria on the world map. Striker Asisat Oshoala, who made it to this year's World Cup, also recently bagged a victory home, gaining her 6th Woman Player of the Year award. This year, Asisat became the first Nigerian footballer, male or female, to score in 3 World Cups. In the same month, US President Joe Biden honoured Dr. Charity Ezenwa Onuaku with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the reception for the 2023 Humanitarian Day in Houston, Texas. The award recognises the service and civic contributions of Americans to their communities nationwide. Dr. Ezenwa Onuaku has devoted her time, skills and resources to creating and implementing financial literacy programs, Financial Empowerment for Young Adults program, Wealthy Gen, and its signature Women Empowerment project. In September, 27-year-old Deborah Raji was honoured as Time magazine's 100 most influential people in artificial intelligence. Raji was placed in the Thinkers category for her innovative work that ensures AI companies take responsibility for harmful race biases created within their models. Raji has worked with tech giants such as Microsoft, Amazon and IBM, driving meaningful change in the ever-evolving AI technology for the benefit of all of mankind. British Vogue also named Chioma Nnamdi as the new editor-in-chief, replacing the long-serving and highly respected Edward Enninful OBE. After years working in several publications, Chioma joined Vogue during their online restructure in 2010. Global fashion icon Anna Wintour has said that Nnamdi is beloved among her colleagues, adding that she has an impeccable reputation both at Vogue and the fashion industry at large. In October, renowned professor of infectious disease epidemiology Ibrahim Abubakar won the $100,000 Rue Prize by the University of Washington School of Medicine for his commitment to improving public health globally. The Bauchi State native, who currently serves as Dean of the Faculty of Population Health Sciences at University College London, has championed the fight against some of the world's most pressing health challenges, including tuberculosis and COVID-19.
That are working around the clock, putting the health.
In the same month, Uzoma Asagwara became the first Nigerian to be appointed Health Minister and Deputy Premier of Canada's Manitoba province. Nido, America's South Savannah, celebrated the 29-year-old, saying that they are confident she will strive to create a healthier and more equitable society. In her new role, she has been entrusted to drive innovation and health advancements within the biosciences. In November, Nigeria's Lagos State marked a historic moment by making an inaugural appearance at the Lord Mayor's Show in the UK capital. Organisers of the London event recognised the state's growing economic prominence on the global stage, and this year's edition was the first time an African city was showcased in the tradition's 800 years.
We intend that Nigeria, and in fact Lagos State, becomes probably the most attractive investment destination and the highest ranked international financial center in Africa.
It's a great pleasure to be here today to demonstrate our culture and to showcase where we come from.
They have been inviting my company, the company where I'm working for, in this show, but I've never seen a Nigerian. This is the first time I'm seeing Nigerian here. Yeah, that's why I'm very, very happy.
As Nigerians, we were very proud and lucky to see other Nigerians here too, adding to the color. It's an annual event, so hopefully we'll see you guys again next year.
Juliana Olayinka with the Diaspora Network News Wrap for the year in London.
As always, we've also been following the activities of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission as they continue to engage citizens living abroad through various programs.
Chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, pays a courtesy visit to the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Dangiwa, in his office in Abuja. On the front burner is the proposed launch of the Diaspora Mortgage Housing Scheme for Nigerians in the UK, Canada and USA in February 2024. The minister expresses support for diaspora initiatives in the housing and urban development sector and highlights the ministry's commitment to fostering partnerships for more national development. Mrs. Dabiri Erewa commends the minister's commitment to the initiative and gives assurances of the Commission's dedication to deliver on the much-anticipated Diaspora Mortgage Scheme and the upcoming Diaspora Smart City, which aims to actualize the dreams of Nigerians in the diaspora to own houses back home. The NITCOM boss was also a special guest at a book launch by Mr. Yemi Edun, a Nigerian based in the United Kingdom. The book explores the legacy of the Nigerian High Commission in the UK and the importance of diplomacy to the citizenry of any nation. Mrs. Dabiri Erewa congratulates the author for representing and projecting the country's image positively and enjoins other diasporans to emulate him.
This group here, that group there, and we're encouraging unity amongst our people in the diaspora. And we have a lot of programs for the diaspora to continue to engage them with their home country. So I'll just say is that, yes, thanks to Ambassador, we have more Nigerians schooling in the UK. And what we tell them is understand the culture of where you're going to. And I want you to take that up as you do your charity and a whole lot more things. How do we have an awareness seminar for a lot of them? You read about the guy who went to kill a squirrel in the UK. He thought he was just playing with the bushmeat. So you need to understand the culture of where you're going to. We've had cases of students who have had to return because they got into trouble for something they didn't know was culturally wrong. So we need to work with you on that, Yemi. So I'll just say thank you for making us proud to be Nigerians. Thank you for all you're doing. And I want more Nigerians to emulate you and encourage you. You didn't have to write a book, but you did. And the first, please let's clap for him, the first to do this.
And to mark the Christmas and New Year festivities, Mrs. Dabiri Erewa joined other dignitaries on a courtesy visit to President Bola Tinubu at his home in Lagos.
Now let's meet Dubai-based musician and founder of Art Fusion Night, MKO, who is celebrating African cultures in the United Arab Emirates through music and art.
Dubai-based Nigerian singer, songwriter, entrepreneur and art enthusiast Madubichi Kingsley Okpo, popularly known by his initials MKO, hails from Okwa West Local Government in Abia State. He was born into a family of 9 children with 8 boys and a girl. MKO grew up in Lagos, southwest Nigeria, where he attended primary and secondary schools. He was alive to his passion for music and art from a young age and did not hesitate to go after it. While in Lagos, he was part of a band playing covers in small venues across the city. Over the years, his love for music grew, and he began crafting tunes for himself and other aspiring artists in Nigeria. MKO later moved to Ghana, eventually the United Arab Emirates, where he wrapped up his education and kicked off his career. Less than a month after arriving at the UAE, he secured a job at the Dubai Investment Company, the first in a series of jobs that also included being a web engineer at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the music bug followed him all the way. For a long time, MKO juggled between the corporate world and his music career, but later left the corporate space to focus on his creative pursuits full-time. He was eager to collaborate with talented artists, but was faced with a challenge: lack of a platform for such collaboration. Undeterred by this, he got to work on finding a way to bring people together. MKO eventually found the ideal vehicle with the startup of Art Fusion Nights, a platform that celebrates innovation and creativity from fashion, art to music, while offering networking opportunities for enthusiasts. He launched a series of quarterly meetups in 2016 and has continued till date. MKO believes regardless of setbacks, perseverance, determination, consistency and passion, turns dreams into reality.
As much as I was doing music and making videos, I wasn't sure how far and how ready I was to take it to a whole new level. But I was still making sure my music was quality out at that time. And I was working with top producers to make sure they gave me quality. So to 2010, I had already had my first big show. I think by 2012, I've already performed with the likes of your David O, Wizkid, P-Square, D'banj, all of these guys at the time. I remember D'banj and I had a great rapport at the early stages as well, because Dubai is such a small place. So if you're doing great in your field, they have no choice but to call you because, you're the guy. But I wanted more. I felt like it couldn't just be only Kiza that would give us platforms as creatives to perform. Afrobeat was already starting to pick up out here as a way of creating a space, not just for musicians, but including other forms of creative art, music, fashion, fine art, poetry, spoken words, poetry, and a bunch of other forms of creative art. Broadway. I decided that I was going to create a platform that I can showcase my talent and other people could do the same. But at this point, I knew that platform, I was going to put in the work to get it to a point where it would be a proof of concept for other people to replicate. Because you cannot be the only one catering to a space like Dubai. But Dubai is a place where a lot of people try to come up with ideas, but it's a place where a lot of people want to jump on a moving wagon. Like, what can I do to make it easier for me than having to start afresh? This is a great concept. And if I have the right financial backing, I can also do something similar. And Dubai is a place full of expats with their own creative drive as well. So as a way of having a sense of belonging, if you are a creative, you want to be a part of that community. So that's how Art Fusion Night became a start of a new creative space in Dubai, which was now replicated. Certain portions of it were now being replicated, and that was the vision. So by 2019, when we got the opportunity to have Art Fusion Night on the Point with Nakil and other sponsors, work was now starting to take a toll. Traveling as well for my music. Now my music has also picked up. I launched the first ever Afro-pop album in the Middle East, which was also sponsored by Dubai Tourism in 2019, same year. It was sponsored by W, The Palm, Hennessy, and Kiza, because for me, I felt like since they gave me my first shot, it made sense for me to take my official album launch party to Kiza. It just made sense. What we did was we brought a bunch of creatives from different parts of Dubai. We had a panel discussion where we talked about how to grow the creative space. And this is a proof of concept based through Art Fusion Night. But now, how do we as artists collaborate more, support each other more, so they can actually be a culture here? There was this demand and need for MKO to go on a solo tour, to host my own solo concerts locally. The name MKO has now started becoming like a proper household name. But I still had my 9 to 5. So think about this, I would perform sometimes, then I would leave the venue by 3 in the morning, go home, get ready, or sometimes if I was staying in a hotel within the venue, I would go get ready by 5, be in the office, and then sometimes after work hit the studio. And being in business development, sometimes you would have conferences to attend after your performances and everything. I was sometimes moving around like a zombie, man, trying to keep up with all of these. So 2019 was a very busy year. I would go, I've done Afro Nation in Ghana. I've done Rapperholic with Sarkodie. I've done Beam Nation. So a lot of the things that is happening now, I've done it, and I got verified on Instagram when I still had 20,000 followers. So the work, the understanding that I know I may have not become as big as some of the biggest names that are out there, like your Wizkid and Davido, but in my space here in Dubai, I was known. And when I travel and people outside of the UAE are noticing that. I remembered my show in Mauritius again, I think it was 2018. I got on stage and I performed the song Good Loving, which was one of my tracks. I was surprised as to how big it was because a DJ in Mauritius stumbled upon the song online and was playing it consistently on the radio. Imagine one of the biggest radio stations finding your song, and the guy on that show liked it and was playing it every day. So imagine like a Virgin Radio, equivalent of Virgin Radio, finding MKO's song. So when I got the show, I was like, Mauritius, who's Sabi MKO from Mauritius? Anyway, let's just go, sha. Then I got on stage and I said, it's another one, it's MKO. The crowd went mental. And I was thinking, did someone else come from the back and walked on stage whilst I was still performing, right? So it took me by surprise. And I kid you not, I stopped and I was looking to see if there was some other famous guy on stage. I was like, it's me. And then I told the DJ, kill music, please, repeat, because I need to, because at this point I need to now perform proper.
Get down, all the ladies, let me see you in the dance floor. Go on now. Yeah. Sammy Young on the beat, let's go. Yeah. MKO. Chica bonita. Very, very nice to meet ya. Baby, can I have your number? Take you on a date later. Oh, Mona Lisa, would you be my diva?
That opened my eyes to the fact that you can put in as much work as you like. When your time comes, it just takes one guy or one person or one radio station to change, and your life will be changed forever. All of this was now becoming too much and overwhelming. I had to come back to resign. So I resigned officially in 2019 from the last company I was working for before I became, I remembered handing in my resignation, and my boss said to me, Kingsley, are you sure? I'm not gonna accept this resignation letter because I think it's all in your head. All these opportunities are coming and you think it will be this sweet every time. And also because she cared for me. I insisted. And she said, you know what I would do, Kingsley? I would take the resignation letter, I'll put it in my locker, come back in 2 weeks. If your decision is still the same, I would accept it. And then I would expect you to come back a week after that. And once I announce it to the rest of the team, there's no going back. So I said, okay, that's fine. But just remember, this is the official day of my notice period. So she took it. 2 weeks later, I came back. I'm like, my decision is still the same. At this point, I came home and I had the worst panic attacks you could ever ask for. Dubai is not a place where you want to be without a stable income, like anywhere else in the world. So, long story short, I went in heads first and pursued my passion, Art Fusion and my music. And today, as I'm speaking to you, Art Fusion Night has only not become, a household name. We actually charge a premium now for people to come to the event and watch the underdog. The people who they don't know, but it's no longer about who is performing, it's about the experience when they show up to Art Fusion Night. It's about the people, the quality, the caliber, and what the platform stands for, which is a starting point for a lot of creatives. If you're able to build a genuine community of following of Nigerians who appreciate you as a person or as a creative, they would show up for you. It didn't matter where it was. Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, Ajman, they're there. That's our guy, right? And that is the advantage that comes with that. As a Nigerian, I would say it is an opportunity. It's been giving me opportunities, and it also has its disadvantages, but still doesn't stop us from being patriotic.
You dey cause lava, baby, fire, fire, fire.
And that concludes this edition of Diaspora Network. We wish you a wonderful 2024. Remember, you can watch more amazing and inspiring stories of Nigerians in the diaspora on our YouTube channel and website, channelstv.com. Until next time, I'm Teniola Oyetayo. Bye for now.